The national outrage building over the mass shootings in El Paso and Dayton. Many critics are directing their anger at the National Rifle Association, which has long opposed many gun reforms as infringing on the Second Amendment. Let's look at the NRA and its political influence. Now, according to the Center for Responsive Politics, in the 2016 and 2018 election cycles, the NRA's Political Action Committee or associated individuals made more than $1.9 million in total contributions, the vast majority of which went to candidates. It spent nearly $17 million in lobbying on Capitol Hill. Now, according to the data, Utah Senator Mitt Romney has benefited the most from NRA spending, with more than $13.6 million worth of direct and indirect support over his career. This includes contributions directly to the candidate, along with things like ad spending against opponents, which is something the NRA does very effectively. The contributions are fueled in large part by dues, but there may be problems on the horizon because, according to tax records obtained by the Daily Beast, the NRA's membership dues have been dropping from $163 million in 2017 to $128 million in 2018. We reached out to the NRA for a statement on this, and we have not heard back. I'm not going to hold my breath about that. These membership figures are hard to pin down, though. The NRA will not release exact figures, but claims at various points on its website to have approximately 5 million members. Remember, it claims to be a membership organization, kind of like a club, an affinity organization. Remember that the NRA is also the lobby for the gun industry. The NRA is dealing with the fallout of Maria Butina's guilty plea during the former special counsel's investigation into Russian election interference. Butina pleaded guilty to acting as a foreign agent, and she admitted to her part in Russian-backed attempts, allegedly directed by this man, Russian lawmaker Alexander Torshin, to influence American politics through the NRA. And there are a whole bunch of things going on inside the NRA that are causing problems as well. Joining us now is Richard Painter. He's a former chief White House ethics lawyer in the George W. Bush administration. And Richard, you have written about in the past and said something that always stands out to me, and that the NRA might be best described not as a membership organization for people who rightfully enjoy guns, but a protection racket for people who are already in office, chiefly Republicans.
Absolutely right. That's what I said in my 2012 New York Times editorial, the NRA protection racket. They make it clear that they will support you for public office as a candidate if you toe the line. But if you depart from the NRA script on any issue, they will support a primary challenge. They will come after you hard.
Even a little, if you depart a little bit, right? You still fundamentally, the Second Amendment's in the Constitution. But the idea that you might want enhanced background checks, like 90% of Americans plus do, that is a departure from the NRA script, which will cost you your support from the NRA.
Well, of course, and what they say about the Second Amendment has absolutely nothing to do with the Second Amendment, which talks about a well-regulated militia. This is hardly a well-regulated militia when any kind of kook can get a hold of a semi-automatic weapon and kill 20 people in a matter of seconds. This has nothing to do with the Second Amendment. This has to do with the NRA's distortion of the Second Amendment. But we can fight this. We can fight it in both political parties. In the Republican Party, people who support Republicans on other issues need to make it clear to the Republican Party that they will not support candidates who continue to refuse to enact sensible gun regulations. And that is a key issue. And whether you're a pro-life Republican or whatever your reason is for supporting the Republican Party, make it clear you will not accept the NRA agenda. On the Democratic side, most Democrats are willing to enact support gun regulations that are sensible. But there are right-wing Democrats, and we have some of them in Minnesota that I've been dealing with, up in Minnesota's Iron Range, who are opposed to gun regulations and who support Trump on his wall and a number of other right-wing agendas. Those people need to be primaried out. And so I do call upon Democrats not to just assume that all members of your party, that all candidates support sensible gun regulations. Some of them also are in the back pocket of the NRA, and that's why you need to support primary challengers. Educate yourself as a voter. Stand up to the NRA and their cronies, whether it's the far right of the Republican Party or actually, unfortunately, a very large portion of the Republican Party, or the far-right Democrats that we deal with in northern Minnesota and other places around the country.
All right, Richard, thank you so much for joining us today.
A Walmart store.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure. A Walmart store was the site of one of this weekend's horrific massacres. Now, despite growing calls for Walmart and other big companies to do more to combat gun violence, Walmart tells NBC News there's been no change to its gun sale policies in the wake of the shooting.
One of those calls for change comes from our colleague, Andrew Ross Sorkin. He wrote an open letter to Walmart CEO Doug McMillon with this argument. Beyond the politics of gun control, ending gun sales in stores could be a smart business decision for retailers like Walmart. Now, Walmart has, we should say, done some things.
Yep.
They don't sell handguns and some assault-style rifles. They raised the age. And we've seen another company take action, Dick's Sporting Goods. They lost a significant amount of sales, $180 million bucks, when they took a very public stand against gun violence last year. They stopped selling assault-style rifles and high-capacity magazines at their Field and Stream stores, and they raised the minimum age of buying all firearms to 21. I spoke to Dick's CEO Ed Stack yesterday about that decision and about what else he thinks needs to be done.
I will tell you, we had a number of people who are avid shooters and hunters and outdoorsmen who said, we understand this. We don't think that there's a need for the assault-style rifle, and continue to be a part of our customers. There was a lot who left us, and we understood that, and we knew that that was going to happen. But there was an awful lot of people who endorsed this, and to me, this is an easy decision. It was an expensive decision for us. But I can tell you, if we had a chance to do it all over again, we'd do it all over again exactly the same way.
Ed's the guy, I mean, he's been involved in that company. His
father
founded it. So this is a guy who really feels the business and wants to feel proud of where that business is going.
He has said his frustration now. He and other CEOs have written a letter to Mitch McConnell that has not been responded to, saying universal background checks, let's do this. The question to Walmart, whether it's Andrew Ross Sorkin saying don't sell guns, that might not connect with Walmart, seeing that it's a national, it is the biggest employer, one of the biggest gun sellers,
the absolute biggest retailers. Yeah.
We might not have an understanding of what gun culture is and all that their customers want, but they can say, we're going to have enhanced background checks. They can demand that their gun manufacturers have fingerprint authentication. Right. There's a lot that they can do that they haven't yet.
There's also a business decision not just in attracting the consumers that Dick's and Walmart attract by doing that, but in the fact that guns are not the biggest margin thing in the world. There are other things that if they start reducing their floor space on this might be a way to transition out of being the country's biggest gun sellers.
They're one of the most influential organizations on the planet, definitely the country. They can use it to promote safety.
Hey, MSNBC fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down there and click on any of the videos here to watch the latest interviews and highlights. You can get more MSNBC for free every day with our newsletters. Just visit msnbc.com/newsletters to sign up now.